Hey everyone, Cool Capper in here. Today we're gonna turn this into this. And I'm gonna show you guys how I built it, why I chose the components that I did. We're gonna talk a little bit about why bother even having a rig like this. Let's get into it. Now today we're gonna be building this cinema rig around my Sony a7 IV, but I'm very much a hybrid shooter. I wanna accomplish a couple things with building this rig. One, I want to run everything off of a V-mount battery so I can have battery life that lasts me a whole day, 2 whole days, maybe longer depending on the situation. The next most important thing for me in building this rig is I wanted to add a monitor so that way I could very quickly go from filming B-roll of the things that I do here on my other main YouTube channel and then instantly like flip it around so that way I could see myself when filming these shots like right here. And the third most important thing to me in building this rig is that it can almost instantaneously be broken down to just this camera. I do a lot of photography, I do a lot of product photography, and I want to build a rig that can stay a rig and then in almost a single second be torn back down to move back over to photos or to go in the camera bag or whatever needs to happen. Those are my goals in building this rig. These are the things that guided my decisions on what to purchase. There are links in the description below for every single thing here if you want to go check them out. Those are affiliate links, and so if you purchase anything after clicking on one of those links, I get a tiny bit of commission, costs you nothing extra. So thank you for the help on that. Okay, the basis for the entire rig is going to be around this Condor Blue cage. This is going to allow me to make all of those super fast instantaneous changes, and it's a super well-built cage. So the first thing we got to do is put the Condor Blue Arca Swiss plate on the camera. By the way, this is the small rig multi-tool, just for camera stuff. This is super, super awesome. I'll put the link in the description below. Perfect. So that is done. Let's set that off to the side now. So in order to attach our V-mount battery, that means we need some 15mm rods. And if we want 15mm rods, that means we need a way to attach them to the cage. So I picked up this, I don't even know how do you say that? I don't even know how you say that, but there'll be links down below for this. This is a 15mm rod base plate. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to attach this to the cage and straight before you really crank it down. So now we have got the base plate that holds the 15mm rods on the cage. But one of the things that I hate about this is it doesn't sit down very flat. And once everything's mounted up here, you'll set this down and it'll flop over. So this is called the Kessler Crane Quick Stand, and it mounts to the bottom of this, and it's got these nice little rubber feet here and just a nice wide stable platform. So we're going to attach this to the bottom here. And then once we got all this put together, we'll make sure that it's balanced correctly and all in a spot where everything sits nice and doesn't want to fall over. There we go. So now, even just building the rest of the rig, it's just right there. Super awesome. So one thing I failed to mention about this Kessler Quick Stand is the fact that that is Arca Swiss right on the bottom here. Now this is gonna come in really handy in a second, but for now, the coolest part about it is that this is a big old base plate. You can set it down and not have any issues with it. And then when you wanna go put it on a tripod, you literally just can set it right on there and clamp it down, and it works perfect for that application. Carbon fiber 15mm rods from Small Rig. These are the 9-inch rods. You can use whatever size works for you. And those just go right in there, and we're just gonna lock them down for now. And we will adjust those later. So the next thing we gotta do is put the camera in, and this is where this Condor Blue cage just rules. It just crushes the competition. Because now that we have our Arca Swiss plate on the bottom, you literally just set it in there, unclamp it, push it in, and then there's a little quick release clamp right here, and that clamps the camera in. That's all there is to it right there. Now there are extra screw holes where the camera straps buckles used to be, and you can use those, and it comes with the screws to use those if you want a super solid mount. The other thing that it comes with is this little cold shoe tightener thing, and I find that this works really good because you literally just push it in there and then you can tighten this down. I don't think you need to do it too tight, but now it's being held on top and bottom, and that's all the more effort it takes to put the camera in the cage, and that's great. We're gonna flip the screen open so that way we can keep it open. And the next thing that we need to do is put our V-mount plate on. Now this is a V-mount plate by Andy Cine. I like this one because it's super affordable, and the beauty of these small rig batteries is it's got a bunch of connections already built in, so you don't need a V-mount plate with a bunch of connections. That makes the whole thing more affordable if you buy this battery. So we're just gonna put this on our rails, tighten it down. We're gonna keep it halfway loose, and we're going to go ahead and put the battery on it just so that way it is balanced. Now the next thing we gotta do is put on the Condor Blue top handle, and this just slides on these rails right here. There's these little push buttons, spring-loaded push buttons that are like safeties, and so you can just set it on there and push that button in, and once you slide it on, it can't come off even if it comes loose, which is really great. So we're gonna center that up, tighten it down. This is the FreeWorld F5 Pro monitor. Good budget option for a monitor, and we're going to attach it to the Condor Blue monitor arm. This is definitely the best rotating, swivel, adjustable monitor attachment that I could find. And we're just gonna screw that in. And I like how it has this little lip here, so you can literally pull it tight against the monitor, so that way the clamp doesn't twist on the monitor. Tighten that down, and then this is gonna go right on the front here, and those locating pins keep that straight. But now this monitor here, it just goes from this, and you can literally twist it all the way around, so you can see what you're filming that way, twist it around if you wanna film, and that's awesome. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to attach our cinema lens. This is the IRIX 45mm T1.5. Subscribe if you wanna see a full video of this, because I'm gonna be doing a full review of this lens, but spoiler alert, it's awesome. Okay, the next thing we need to do is install our Tilta follow focus handle, so that way we can focus the manual focus cinema lens. So we've got the Tilta Nucleus focus motor here, and then the Tilta handle. Now in order to attach this, I had to buy a different attachment for the handle itself. I'll link all of these parts down below. So you've basically got this clamp that goes right on here, and then we can tighten that down, and then the follow focus just clamps right on there. And I kind of like it at a little bit of an angle, maybe even one more notch over. Kind of helps me like hold it and keep like steadier shots that way. And there we go. So there is the follow focus handle attached. So it's getting pretty front heavy. So at this point, I want to adjust the base plate here. I'm gonna get yelled at for that in the comments, but it's my camera and I can use it the way that I want to. So we're gonna just pull that all the way forward there and center it up. Now the base is much more stable, and we're going to loosen this and slide those rods forward. There we go. Now at this point, it's still a little front heavy, which honestly, I was not expecting that. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take the whole camera back out. And this is kind of the beauty of this setup, that's all the longer it takes to pull the camera out of the entire cinema rig, just like that. Okay, let's slide these rods back through. Then we're gonna put the Tilta Nucleus motor V-mount battery on. There, so that is the rig fully put together. Now it's just time to wire it up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is use this Condor Blue D-Tap dummy battery, and this is gonna go in the Tilta focus handle, so that way we don't have to put a battery in that. It's just one less battery to run. We're gonna run this around under here and run it on the D-Tap out of this small rig battery. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna run USB-C out of the V-mount battery into the USB-C of the camera. And basically what this is gonna do is this is gonna let us run nearly indefinitely on the camera battery without actually having a dummy battery installed. I always like to try to run these cables so that way there is neatly positioned. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, next we gotta connect the Tilta follow focus handle to the actual follow focus. I wish there was a better way to run this because it's not great, if I'm being honest, because you've got this cable sticking off the front there and it's not in a very good spot, but we're gonna make it work. Okay, next we gotta run the power for the monitor, and for this we're gonna run the 8-volt barrel out, and we're going to run that under the cage here, straight up to the monitor like so. And then we need an HDMI cable. Now I'm running a little bit longer HDMI cable. This is a right angle to right angle HDMI. Again, links in the description for all of this stuff. I'm running this one specifically because I want to be able to rotate this monitor and have enough slack on everything to rotate it for when I'm filming myself like that. So we're just gonna plug that in right there. And there you have it. There is the complete cinema rig. You turn the focus handle and it will focus the lens. Super sturdy, heavy duty feeling, like the right amount of weight where you can get those really great handheld, like stable shots. So that is my Sony Cinema rig. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to drop them down below. Now you could add whatever you want to this. There's another cold shoe right here on the cage if you wanted to add a microphone or a wireless transmitter like the DJI wireless mic thing, the lavalier thing. I put another cold shoe here so I could add like an aperture, like on camera light if I needed to, so I could do a microphone and a light if I need that. Okay, so switching to photo mode, we're gonna grab our photo lens. We're gonna set it right here. First thing we're gonna do is unplug the battery, and then we're gonna loosen the battery clamp, and the battery is just gonna slide right off. We're gonna loosen the top clamp. We're gonna change the lens from the cinema lens to the photo lens. And then we're going to unclamp, hold the release button down. There we go. And boom, we're back to photo. We're switched from cinema to photo, but now you have the full cinema rig here, minus the battery, that stays put together completely, and our photo rig, and going back and forth is just that fast and easy. And since this Condor Blue cage runs an Arca Swiss quick release plate, we still have quick release on the bottom of our camera. So the exact same tripod that we were just using with the whole cinema rig, now we can put just the camera on it and shoot our photos. Now that's not to say you even have to take the rig apart. A lot of times I'm shooting photos with it all still in this rig. However, obviously there are times when you want just a photo rig, and this just makes such a huge difference in being productive with the same camera. If you have one camera and you want to do the best work in both worlds, the videography, cinema world, and the photo world, this is the best camera rig I can come up with for that. When I'm filming myself, this gets turned around and I can just set this up on the tripod. I can see what I'm filming. The battery lasts forever. I wanted those stable handheld, like cinema camera like shots, and not having to change the battery for an entire day no matter what I'm filming. I accomplished both of those things with this. And I will say that the focus handle for the follow focus that's kind of a necessity. When I was using this before I had that and I was manually focusing the lens, it was pretty difficult to keep the shots steady and not have the camera like rotate, have the shot rotate when I was racking focus like with my hand on the cinema lens. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you got something out of this. I'll put links down below for every single thing it took to build this, so go check those out. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.